It's one of those jobs you got to have a different mindset. I mean, you got 10 guys running at you. Count on guys to get on blocks, and you're gonna have to make a lot of guys miss in the open field, and usually unblocked. And it takes probably a little more than just courage to be able to stick it up in there. And when you find guys that can have that mindset and are willing to do it and can hit the holes hard, that's a starting point. And then when they actually have vision, that's even better. And I think he's done a good job when we put him in there of creating a little bit, and at the same time, we still got a ways to go because the more he does it, the better he'll get at it.
Are you considering Jakeem for that job, or is he pretty?
I mean, we're going to kind of see how everything plays out.
Adam, what's the biggest thing that Rashad brings to the defense?
Well, I mean, his experience. He's seen a lot of football. He's been in multiple defensive schemes. I think the longer he's played, I don't want to say, you make it sound like it's easy for him, but it becomes easier because you can react more than you're not thinking as much. And I think he's seen a lot of ball over time, and that allows him to be more aggressive. It allows him to take chances because he has an idea what's going on, sometimes just before, some guys understand it. So that he'll see a route concept developing. He's able to maybe take a better angle, get his hands on the ball.
We noticed Abe was working out in pads after practice today. Where does he stand?
I mean, he's just still working through that. I mean, I think he feels like he's ready to go, but I think we're good where we're at right now. We just want to make sure he's healthy for week 1.
You anticipate him on track for week 1?
I'm hoping so, unless we have any kind of setbacks.
Adam, what's your feeling on linebacker depth? Obviously, Chase has certainly played well. Do you feel you have enough there, or do you need more clarity Thursday?
I mean, we'll kind of see how this plays out. I mean, we haven't really gotten too deep as far as what we're doing after this game. We're focused on this one right here, and once this game's over, then we'll move on to the next step.
Are there any position groups or players you're particularly keen on for this last game?
Really, I mean, both sides of the ball. I mean, they didn't have a great outing last week, and we got to make sure that we play better. I mean, that's really it's both sides of the ball. So I mean, it's hard to say this group or just one side of the ball. I think both sides need to show a lot of improvement. We need some guys to make more plays when they're given the opportunity, and we got guys that we've seen actually do it. And then we didn't have a very good game last week, and that's in the second half. We need these guys to play better.
How is Kendall Langford played his first 2 weeks?
I've been impressed with his ability to come in and he hadn't practiced and be able to go in and play against Carolina, and then last week getting a full week's work and then playing in the game. So I mean, the longer we've gone, I mean, it's just going to be a steady climb. I mean, him coming in late, I mean, it's a lot to pick up really fast.
Adam, I'm doing something on tall football players, 6'7" and over. I've talked to your guys that are that height, but it occurs to me that like half the game is cut off to you. It's like being a left-handed baseball player where you can't catch, can't play second base, can't play shortstop, etc. Is that true at 6'7"? Is it like half the game is cut off to you? Is it?
I don't know.
This is third level.
I mean, that's a tough one to answer. I mean, it's just I don't know. I have no clue. I mean, been around Brock, who's close. Zach's. I mean, he seems taller than 6'7". Like a little kid next to him. I just know at that size when you're playing offensive line, I'm sure it can get interesting sometimes when you get those speed rushers. Those guys are getting so low. I mean, you guys watch Robert Quinn every day. I mean, the guy is so low to the ground. It just puts a guy like that at a disadvantage.
Are there advantages or disadvantages?
I think that the length when they get their hands on you. I mean, that was the first thing that most of the D linemen told me when Zach got here was when you get your hands on it, it's just so hard to get your hands anywhere near the frame of his body. So maybe that's an advantage.
How much has Zach progressed from when he started that season, regular season final?
I think he's definitely improved as far as his knowledge of the system. So it's not sitting there trying to think through, okay, what do I have to do? What are my rules? You know, because there's a lot of things the defense can do where it kind of changes what your technique is. So his comfort level there has improved, and I think he's been very consistent. And that's like every other position. You're just looking for those guys that just day in and day out are the same guy. And I think he's been one of those guys.
Ted Larson went down today.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting for them to come back and tell me, you know, whatever the evaluation was. So I'll know later today.
You're going to play a lot of young guys, a couple linebackers, tight end, Minka, obviously. What do they bring, and what do you, I don't know, concern's the right word, but until they get in a game, what can't they learn?
Well, I think this group of young guys, it's a different class to me. These guys come in with a different kind of maturity almost. Their football IQ is higher than probably a lot of the groups that I've been around in the past. I mean, Chris did a great job putting this draft class together to where now these guys, they're getting thrown in there and they're executing, they're doing things well, and they're being impactful, and they're bringing great energy to the group too. So I mean, you're seeing, you know, Minka makes a couple plays and gets the defense juiced up. You know, I know guys are, you know, they're anxious for Mike to get involved in the passing game when we get going during the season, because they've seen him do a lot of things in practice that gets those guys excited. They know it opens up other things for other players. So, you know, these guys don't feel like rookies to me.
Adam, going back to Rashad quickly, if I may, what one skill does he have above all others that makes him Rashad?
Oh, I mean, his tackling's probably unique as far as how consistent he is and how involved he is. He really has a knack for the ball. I will say when I have seen him, I mean, thinking back to before we even got here, some of the interceptions that he's made in the past have been very impressive. And some of the ones I've seen in practice, his ball skills are way, way above normal for that position. And he can do things. He can do some good stuff with the ball in his hands. You know, it's just kind of, you're in a catch-22 with him because you want him near the line of scrimmage, but at the same time you'd love for him to get kind of caught in a zone to where he's, you know, has a chance to pick a ball off.
You have obviously some not insignificant injuries, but minor injuries to some receivers. Will that affect at all the roster makeup for week 1?
I don't know. Well, I'll find out next week. We still got a game.
What's impressed you guys on McTire, where clearly he's more than just a special teams player?
He's covering guys. You know, I mean, he's not afraid to challenge guys. He mixes it up. He's not the biggest guy, but he doesn't care. He does everything he can to make the plays that when they come in front of him, and he doesn't back down from any receivers. I mean, he finds a way to stay as tight as he can, and in practice he makes a lot of plays. You know, and when we get in the games, he's close, but you know that's experience. He'll turn the corner, and then he'll start practice and start translating to the game.
Is your sense with Tony Lippett that he needs more time to be the same guy as he was before, or is something more significant wrong?
I think the more he plays, the more comfortable he's getting. You know, we got this game coming up, which will be good. Try to give him as many snaps as possible, and I know in practice we're trying to do the same thing, and just keep him, encouraging him to challenge receivers, use his length, do a lot of the things that he's done in the past, and you know, really this game will be a great test for him to really go out there and challenge and play as many snaps as we can get him in there. You know, hopefully it's a high number, so when we get out of this game, we have a really good sense where he's at.
Was he playing a lot of off last game?
Yeah, he got caught in a couple of situations where we were off. Sometimes it's situational. Sometimes it could be we're playing zone, you know, instead of a middle field close where he's matched up. You know, there's a lot of different reasons that can happen. I mean, when we call certain coverages where we're saying, hey, we're pressing on this, I mean, he goes up and does it, and I know that it's felt like they were in the red zone, you know, where a lot of times you're not going to see those type of coverages because those are those are higher percentage of plays for offense to take a shot in the back of the end zone.
Thanks, guys.
I was gonna ask you, Isaac Gassi, I had a question.